If you've been working on yourself, doing inner work, healing yourself, shifting beliefs, reprogramming your subconscious mind, and you're still not living fully in a present moment, feeling peaceful and calm all day long during your daily activities, here's what you need to know. It's not that you need to do more healing. It's not that you need to go and find out deeper triggers. It's not that you need to heal more of your inner child. It's not that you need to realign more of your chakras. It's because you have been persistently on a daily basis and every moment reinforcing the mind that creates those beliefs that needs to be shifted, that creates those triggers that needs to be digged out and looked at, that creates that wounded inner child, that creates that trauma you've been trying to heal. And by the end of this video, you will know how to live fully present, being calm, being peaceful all day long without any of that work. For 10 years, I used to work on myself, heal my triggers, did a lot of inner work, did a hypnotherapy to get rid of trauma and to get rid of my all lack and limited beliefs and all the stuff that I thought I needed to do. And then something happened. Then I had an extraordinary experience. One day I woke up and I didn't know that I am existing. I didn't know that I am. I didn't know who I was. I didn't have any thoughts. I didn't have any emotions. I was just pure awareness, being aware. There were no thoughts, no emotions, nothing. There was just deep stillness. And it was not separate from me. I was a deep stillness. And then in a split second, it's like somebody turned on a switch. My identity came back. And I was telling myself, so I had thoughts, I'm Daniela, I'm coach, I have 3 kids, I live in Toronto, oh, this is my house. All the memories, everything about me, all the memories, all the belief system, the whole my identity was created in one split second. This experience would happen every day for about a week. And then it never happened again. But it made me realize that I am not the mind. I am not the thoughts. Those thoughts are not even mine. Those emotions are not even mine. Those beliefs are not mine. They're a mental construct. Imaginary, artificial mental construct that dawned upon me in a split second. But it is not me. So from that day, I stopped all practices, all spiritual healings, all mindset practices, all positive thinking, everything. And I replaced it with just one practice, if you can call it practice. It's really not practice, it's just living in awareness, being aware on a daily basis. And that changed everything. And I recorded a separate video about that journey, that part of the journey, why I made the decision, and also what was easy about that and what was the really, really hard about that. So you can watch it. I will link it in the description. As I started being aware every moment, the mind started quiet down. The thoughts were less and less frequent. The emotions started to balance. They were very neutral. I didn't experience the huge roller coaster of emotions, and I stopped reacting. What used to trigger me didn't trigger me anymore. And more within few weeks, I moved into living in the present moment. It's been 4 years since I've done any healing, any other practice, and I helped many coaches and business owners who were in the same place as I was before. And after years of practices and working on themselves, they shifted into feeling present, into living in the present moment, into being calm within just few months. This is something that is not just for the monks, not just for those who meditate 24/7. No, this is something you can do in your daily life, using your daily life. So now, what does it have to do with you? Or what is your role in when we say that you recreate that mind consciousness? What is your role on a daily basis? Not to reinforce the mind consciousness that creates this mental construct, this image that you carry and you believe to be your false identity every single moment. So very, very simple. There are two states you can be in. There is either awareness, it's your natural state, it's the normal state, it's a state you were born in and lived in. I would say first 2-3 months before your identity started to form. Your name, your religion, your gender, your community, your family, your belief system based on that environment, and all other stuff. And then memories and traumas and experiences. That's your identity. So you're either living without that identity, not being attached to that identity as a pure awareness, or you're living in a mind consciousness, which means you are that identity. You believe to be that identity, and because you believe to be that identity, there are attachments that come with it, and you reinforce that identity over and over on a daily basis. So how can you not to reinforce this false sense of identity, not to believe that you're it and not to react, not to keep reacting and not to reliving those memories, not to reliving those fears, not to be anxious about the future? Because all that comes with the identity. All that, everything what you've been trying to heal comes with that identity. And here is what everyone misses. It is your attention that reinforces that identity. So attention to your thoughts reinforces more thought. Attentions to the emotions reinforces more emotions. Attentions to the healing, attention to the beliefs. It doesn't matter whether it's a positive or negative belief. In one of the videos I did in the past, I explain, I believe the video is called How to Actually Remove Negative Thoughts for Good. And I explained that there is no difference between positive thinking or positive thoughts and negative thoughts. Why? Well, because they arise from the one consciousness, from the one source. I can link that below because I go really deep into that video. So it's, again, attention to the beliefs or to the thoughts reinforces thought. Attention to the beliefs reinforces the beliefs. So when you're healing, what you are doing? When you're healing, you are giving attention to the beliefs. You're giving attention to the emotions. You're making them important, right? Yeah, because you need to heal them. When you are trying to find or think about why am I getting triggered? Asking yourself, simple question, why am I getting triggered now? Well, you are giving attention to the trigger, and you are reinforcing that identity that has the trigger, that mind consciousness, right? So it's like an example. It's like an example of a child, and the child has a teddy bear, and the teddy bear is sick, and this child is worried, is experiencing negative emotions, fear, frustration, helplessness, and is taking a lot of action to make sure that the teddy gets healthy, gets better. That's mind consciousness. Because is the teddy sick? No, it's not. But the mind consciousness, the imaginary, the mental construct is so real that the child believes, and hence is experiencing all that human suffering. The other state of consciousness would be the parent. The parent looks at the child and is completely chilled, completely calm, because it knows that nothing is going on. It knows that everything is okay. This is the difference between living in the mind consciousness, in the false sense of identity, and over and over, every day experiencing frustration, worry, trauma for years, memories, worrying about anxiety. It's a mental construct. And when you shift into awareness, now you're not that identity. You are aware of the thoughts. You are aware of the emotions. You're aware of the body. You're aware of the mental constructs. But you are not it. You are calm. You are peaceful. And because you are not reinforcing the mind quiets down. And I recorded a video training where I explain everything, so you can watch it, how to be aware and how it quiets down. So this is the only way how to shift into truly being peaceful, into truly living in a peace. The mind doesn't know peace. Mind knows thoughts, emotions, traumas, beliefs, worries. Peace comes from you being in your true state, in the awareness, and being aware of all the madness that mind creates in every moment. And by not giving attention to it, not being attached to the identity, you're taking away the fuel from the mind, and the mind quiets down. And then you're like the parent, being calm, being present, being peaceful, and knowing that there is nothing to be worried about. You know, the mind is not real. But it creates an experience of being real. My thoughts, my emotions, my body, my identity, this is who I am, this is how the world is. It's not. It creates an experience of being it real. Just like a dream. Dream is not real. Yet, when you dream, you have an experience of it being real. Everything what is happening in your dream, you experience as if it was real. And the awareness transcends this mental construct, quiets down the mind. And you start living in your true self, in the true identity, and your natural state is peace. And calmness and non-reaction, because when there is no identity, there are no attachments. You know, when you're worrying about future, you have attachments. Because your whole identity depends on the future. Think about of any worry you are having these days about future. It may be your relationship, it may be your business, it may be your health, it may be your kids, it may be anything. Your identity is attached to a certain outcome. And if it's negative, then the identity will suffer. There will be negative consequences. But that's all is a mental construct, because where is the future? There is no future. Future is how the mind creates the suffering, because it creates the time-space continuum. Future is only in the mind. So is trauma, so are memories. This is why I had clients who had trauma for many years, and within few weeks the trauma was gone. Any panic attacks were gone. Any triggers were gone, because trauma exists only on the level of the mind. You don't need to heal it. All that needs to be done is the mind to quiet down. Panic attack is the same. Anxiety is the same. Worry is the same. The identity needs to be looked at. The identity needs to be observed. Another example would be when you are being triggered by something or someone. When you are triggered by your spouse, for example. Again, as I mentioned before, you are giving attention. You're giving attention to your partner. Why is he doing it? You're giving attention to your emotions. You're maybe asking yourself, why am I being triggered? Or what does this mean? The fact that he did something or he didn't do something, or he said something or didn't say something. The identity is there, and there is attachment, and there's a consequence. It's your attention that is reinforcing the mind. And this is why in this case, in this example, your partner is showing up every moment the same way. This is what clients tell me when they come to me and they say, well, Daniela, I've shifted. I did so much work on myself and I've shifted, but my partner doesn't shift. He's not shifting. No way. You didn't shift. There is an illusion of shift, which is a spiritual ego that the mind created for you to ascend to a certain level of consciousness, but it's still the mind, and that's why you keep being triggered. The other person will completely change when the identity disappears, when the attachment, let me correct it, when the attachment to the identity disappears, because as long as we are in the physical body, we have identity, but there is no attachment to that identity. I know that the thoughts are not mine, the emotions are not mine, the body, the body is not mine. There is no attachment to the identity, the memories. So how can there be a trigger? There is no trigger. And when there is no trigger, when there is no attachment of the identity, your partner will stop triggering you and will stop the behavior. And I recorded the last video I recorded goes really deep into this topic, and it's called why you keep being triggered. So you can look it up, or I can link it and watch that, because in that video I explain exactly how to be aware of the identity, how to be aware of the thoughts, how to be aware of the emotions during your daily life as you are being triggered, not on a meditation carpet. Forget about that. During your daily life. So the triggers disappeared, and so your partner changes. So you can go ahead and watch that video.